Ex-military, a regular gym-goer and now a lorry driver, Ian Patterson describes himself as an alpha male. But he is brave in a way that you might not immediately couple with that description, opening up about his feelings with refreshing honesty. The 52-year-old, from Market Harborough, says he has made 3 suicide attempts in his lifetime and has spent a lot of his life feeling desperate and depressed. He is, of course, not alone in feeling this way. Statistics from the charity Mind show that around 1 in 4 people in the UK will experience a mental health problem each year. Figures from the Samaritans show that more than 6,000 suicides were registered in the UK in 2015. One shocking statistic is that male suicide is the single biggest killer of men aged 45 and under in the UK. Knowing that, it is not surprising that Ian is so keen to get other men to talk. He is in a good place right now. It's been a year since his last suicide attempt and he is happy. He is determined to help others and to use his own experience to help beat the stigma around talking about your feelings. Ian Patterson, 52, from Market Harborough, has told his mental health story. He has had his full body waxed to raise money for the charity Mind. Image, Ian Patterson. All my life I have been the class clown even since a child. I was always the disruptive child at school, he said. I had a hard childhood with an alcoholic, aggressive father and a mother who had her own issues. I went into the military as a boy soldier at 16 and that made me, but I came out of the army in 1989, a long time ago now. Throughout the years I have had mental health problems and not known how to deal with them. I have tried to kill myself 3 times. I have been in many states of depression and I decided a couple of years ago that I had to speak to someone. I was suicidal and it was serious. I was in a desperate state constantly. In 2013 Ian took himself to the doctors to reach out for help, but getting the words out to say what he needed was not an easy task. He added, I got to a point where I had to go to a GP. I went to the GP and said, I've got a friend who is depressed. He says he wants to kill himself. How can he get help? I broke down in tears. It was obvious it was me. From that moment of talking to somebody I have managed to get help. I am in a great place now. Last year was my last suicide attempt, but now I have had great months when I have had no mental episodes. I have been open about it. Ian had been for help many years before in 1994, but his problems continued to spiral until he hit rock bottom. He said, I first went for help in 1994 and I was prescribed Prozac, which seemed to be all the rage at the time, but years passed with ups and downs, depression, self-harm etc. and I never did anything about it. It wasn't until 2013 when I hit rock bottom and sought help, as this was the closest I'd come to suicide. I was referred quite quickly and since then I've had regular treatment and support. It's only been in the last 7 months that I've been in a good place, and although it's taken a long time, it's so worth it. Ian received counseling and medication as treatment for his depression. He said, the counseling helped me to understand why I felt the way I did, the way I acted and why I got to be ill. Once I could accept that, then I could start to move on and put that behind me. It took Ian years to get up the courage to go to the doctors and ask for help, and he thinks that for men the topic is particularly difficult. It's a taboo subject. Men don't talk about mental health, he added. Men really struggle. It's really difficult for a man to talk about it. They have got this image. I have got a macho image. I am ex-military. I go to the gym regularly. I would say I am alpha male, but when I am open about mental health issues, people are surprised. I have got people who have said, I didn't realize you were like this, you are so happy and confident, and I am, but that's my coping mechanism. Once I've spoken about it, people have said, my fella is like this, and I am like this. It doesn't matter what age you are, what gender, what background, what ethnicity, children, adults, everyone can experience mental health problems. Although Ian has had some very difficult times in his life, he is keen to stress that it is often not one thing that sparks a mental health problem, and he cannot pinpoint the time when he started to feel depressed. This echoes advice from Mind, which says that mental health problems can have a wide range of causes, and for many people there is a complicated combination of factors. Ian Patterson, 52, from Market Harborough. Image, Ian Patterson. Ian said, when my mother died of brain cancer a few years ago, my mental health problems really flared up. She got brain cancer 4 years ago and within 8 weeks she died. I had a lot of times before that too. I have had a lot of trauma in my life. I wouldn't say I have had a bad life, but I haven't had a good life. There is rarely one cause for mental health problems. I can remember back in 1990, a friend of mine stopped me when I was going to try and kill myself, so I definitely had problems before Mom died. It's a combination of life events that built up and up and up. That put in my mind that if I do anything wrong I had to punish myself and I would go into depression. I was self-harming, I have punched myself and given myself a black eye, I have done all sorts to hurt myself. I have had to stop at the side of the road and break down in tears because of his job as a lorry driver. Ian has to inform the DVLA of any health problem which could affect his driving. He recently tried to inform the DVLA of his depression and was told they already had it on file from when he told them previously in 1994. Since going to the doctors, Ian has been prescribed some medication which he says has helped him greatly, but the thing that helped him first was talking. He said, where I have opened up and actually talked about it, it has helped. When I have been in a bad place, I don't want to talk about it, because it's not easy. Well, I like to be open about it. By talking about it, I don't know if it's helping me out, but I know for a fact, I am helping others. I feel really positive about the future. I feel like I am in such a great place now. I want to help others. When asked what his advice for others is, Ian barely paused to think before saying, talk about it. He added, that's all it took for me. I have been desperate. There are many times I have thought about suicide. As a lorry driver I have wept. I have cried. I have had to stop at the side of the road and break down in tears. Ian Patterson, 52, from Market Harborough, has battled depression throughout his life. He says men need to talk about their feelings. Image, Ian Patterson. You can be in such a desperate place and you are in the corner, in that lonely hole. It's really difficult to take that deep breath and that step and say, this is me. That first time you talk about it, it is accepting it. It's talking about it and it's saying it's normal. If somebody had a limp, if they have got an injured leg, they might not go straight away, but they would deal with it and see the GP. You don't have to speak to a GP, there are so many ways to get help. Even if you just go to Google and say I need someone to talk to, it's the first step to say I think I feel like this. Since being open about his own experience, Ian is helping friends who are struggling with mental health problems. He added, I was talking to a chap who was in a bad way and he kept saying why? He broke down crying in the pub. I said, why don't you ask the question how instead? How can I get over this? How can I get help for this? Who can I talk to? Instead of the why, go to the how and who. You could see in his face it changed him, and he is now getting help, helping others. Ian is now expanding on who is helping and has just completed a fundraiser for the charity Mind. He had his full body waxed to raise cash for the Northampton and District branch of the mental health charity, which covers Market Harborough. He had to have the waxing done in 2 goes after promising to get everything waxed if the donations exceeded £500. Ava Heron Beauty Market Harborough did the body wax, but they couldn't to the intimate area, so Evolution Man in ODB stepped in to do that for free. Ian has so far raised almost £1,200 for Mind after his employers DHL agreed to double the amount he raised, up to £600. He said, I did this because I am too lazy to go on a bike ride. I have got bad knees and everyone does a sport thing. I thought I would do something different. People know I am a little bit crazy, a little bit out there. I wanted to raise awareness of Mind. I know that if people are aware of Mind, they will find the right people to help them. It was a mixture in the way of pleasure and pain. It was funny. I was in public, I was wearing shorts, and the girl that did it had an apprentice with her, so it wasn't just one rip, it was rip. I feel brilliant because I know this sounds cheesy, but I did say every bit of pain I have with waxing is nothing compared to what people with mental health problems are going through every day. If the money helps one person, then it is worth every bit of pain. To make a donation to Mind to help others like Ian, visit his Just Giving page here. If you need to speak to someone, Samaritans are available 24/7 by calling 116-123 or by emailing joe@samaritans.org.